Hi, my name is Antonio Hernandez. I'm a freshman at California State University, Sacramento, and I'm playing the role of Oscar in Sweat by Lynn Nottage, directed by Nicole Limon.
My name is Bethany Wheat. I'm a senior at Sacramento State, and I'm playing the character of Tracy.
Hello everyone, my name is William Schmidt. I am an alumni of the Department of Theater and Dance at Sacramento State, and I have the pleasure of playing Brucey in this production of Sweat by Lynn Nottage.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Rayborn. I'm an alumni from Sac State, and I'm playing Stan in Sweat.
Hello, my name is Michael Jolly. I am a graduating senior at Sacramento State University, and I'm playing the role of Jason.
Hey guys, my name is Lexus. I'm a senior and I play the role of Cynthia.
Hello, my name is Miles Meckling. I'm a graduating senior at Sacramento State University and I play Chris.
Hello, my name is Alexandria Amen and I play Jessie.
Most folks think that is the guilt or rage that destroys us in the end, but I know through experience that it's shame that eats us away until we disappear. You put it in your time. Thank you. My name is Kari Haynes. I'm a senior, and I play the role of Evan. One thing I want the audience to take away from this production is understanding human behavior. We react to things, whether it's good, bad. We react to it. But it's the feeling that we get afterwards that we don't really take into account of. Because in the moment of reaction, we feel good and we feel right. But it's the feeling afterwards. That's the reality of how we truly feel.
Something I want people to take from the show is absolutely just to show a little bit more empathy for the people around us.
I think the thing that I would like you as the audience to take away from is to hear the stories, to see them, to feel the emotions of the stories and really try to connect with them or try to put yourselves in those scenarios. And then after viewing, to take a step back and understand and draw parallels from the actual script to our world today and how these stories still exist and people are still going through this, and that we can get through a lot of things if only we work together, and just find the community again. Find the community in humanity. Find the community in each other. And I really hope that you take away the love that we should have unconditionally for those that are around us. Even if you don't know someone's story, they're going through something. It may not be the same thing as you, but they're going through something. And that's what connects us all together, is that we're human and life happens and it'll steer you in one direction that you never see coming. And to have that community to fall back on and to talk things out with, I think is very vital. And I hope that you keep that in mind when you see our production of Sweat, and even after you see our production of Sweat. Don't be afraid to go out there and join conversations. That's what theater is supposed to do. It's to connect you to around. It's to start the dialogue, to start the conversations. So don't be afraid to go out there and do that.
I have loved this show for a few years now. I was taking a script analysis course when Lynn won her Pulitzer for Sweat, and we went in depth with this show. So I fell in love with it then, and subsequently in the 3 classes that I took after the class that we studied this show, I fell deeper in love with it every single time. So to finally be helping tell the story and perform it has been this full circle moment for me. And I feel like this show really fits into 2020 kind of eerily. It is a story that, though told in 2000 and 2008, isn't a new story, and we have heard accounts of very similar stories within this year. So being able to bring to life this show, these characters, has been very surreal within our own time.
I was so grateful to be working on Sweat during this time, specifically of political unrest, because Reading, Pennsylvania is a microcosm of the United States. We are the working class. We need to go to our minimum wage paying jobs, our 9-to-5 jobs, in order to exist. And Lynn Nottage has a beautiful way of showing us that history will repeat itself, especially if we don't check the continuous abuse of societal norms.
For me, Sweat is a play about family. It teaches us that it's very important to value what a family truly means. That even though we come from different backgrounds or we're, different classes, different races, this show, it teaches us that it's important to understand the person's story from the inside and not by their appearance.
I think what Sweat means to me is absolutely it's about people who are being hurt trying to make the best of a bad situation, only to find that the situation is intentionally trying to screw them over. And it sucks that hit so close to home in 2020, even 20 years after the show is set.
Sweat to me means process. It's a process to understanding that we all have choices. And we have to choose a choice that will better make our position better, whether socially, economically, spiritually. We all have to make a choice that'll make us put us in a better position in life. And sometimes these choices knock us back or knock us forward and pushes us forward. But that's the thing, we don't know, because it's a consequence, whether good or bad. So definitely the audience needs to take away the choices and what people do in a given circumstance. And that's human behavior.
Sweat means a lot. This story, I want to thank you, Lynn Nottage. This story is so real. The people in this story, they are real people, and you feel for them. And after I read it a couple of times, before we did our first read through, I told everyone when we were talking at our table read, and I was like, I connect a lot with Chris. Like, I feel like we have this really strong connection, and I understand his struggles of wanting to be better, but it doesn't feel like the world around you wants you to be better. And that struggle of, should I stay in the status quo or should I not? And you see it. He has these aspirations that he's trying to. And unfortunately, things happen, but he has them. And he has that drive in him. And I feel like I very much have that drive and that motivation to keep on going and to speak up for myself and to speak up for others. And so I really appreciate how Sweat has given me that opportunity to not only do so in my life, but to show others through storytelling that it's possible. It's possible to go for your dreams. It's possible to speak up for yourself. It's possible to speak up for the people around you and to want something better for your community. And like I said before, I can't thank you enough for that, Lynn Nottage. Thank you so much.
Sweat, to me, was a labor of love. It was so great to be back doing theater, acting, performing, and creating with my people. But Zoom, oh my gosh. So very trying and testing on the patience, especially when it comes to internet and tech stuff and the lagging of my computer. So I will not miss that, but I will miss working on Sweat.
Doing theater at this time has been challenging as well as delightful. It is given space to learn, as well as a chance to grow as a performer and to continue working on the craft. It's also been a wonderful opportunity to refine and to adapt to making artistic choices that can be read through a computer screen. We worked virtually during this entire process, and because of that, I know how much I really miss being in a space of performers, to share energy with everyone and to breathe the same air.
Doing theater during COVID has been quite the interesting experience. Having to set up our own lighting, to making sure our costumes and makeup look good on camera, setting up our own rehearsal space, and not having that physical person with you in the room to play off of. It's definitely been a wild experience, to say the least.
COVID theater is fun because everything that you have becomes something else, and you have to make do with everything you got. And it's such a weird experience to look at a cabinet and think, that's now my table. That bookshelf is a bar. Everything I own is part of a bar now.
I have to say, working kind of in Zoom and doing Zoom theater, it was definitely different from, watching the productions on stage and just having to do it on the laptop and getting to see everyone not in person and face to face. It was definitely challenging for me at times, but it was really, really fun. And, we all shared so many moments and so many memories. So it was definitely such a great time. And it was really fun doing Zoom and just doing theater on it.
This COVID theater for me was very difficult because I'm used to being in a theater room or rehearsal room with other actors, and I'm able to better adapt to my relationships with them. And this has been a difficult process because you're not there physically, you're there virtually, and you have to lean more on your senses of listening and hearing rather than your sight and touch. And that's it. And that's the thing. It was difficult. So it's like going blind. You're losing one sense, and then you have to adapt to the other senses. And this sense was just listening and hearing, and it was a great lesson. So I had a great time. It was difficult, but I had a great time.
COVID theater, doing theater at home. I'm actually standing in my performance space right now, a corner of my living room, has been something brand new for all of us, but something that has been fun to figure out.
COVID theater has been very interesting. This is my second COVID production, and it's been one hell of a ride. I mean, from doing costumes remotely to being provided lighting equipment and having to light and fix the lighting for our own spaces, transforming our living spaces into acting spaces has been crazy. I mean, going around my house, you feel like you live in an acting studio, and then being able to work with, especially for our show, we used a lot of real backgrounds. So having pictures and things that are similar in other people's spaces and how they line up on the different screens has been super amazing and helped us, stay in it and stay together and feel like we're actually in a room together.
Now, my favorite memory during rehearsals probably has to be our first day during the read-through, hearing Alexis say for the first time, "Hi" as a mother effing kite.
My favorite memory is getting to work with everyone and getting to know them and, coming together to bring the story to life. And Lynn Nottage wrote such a well-written, just great, real, authentic, and just the story parallels everything that's going on now. And to be able to create that and make art with it, it's just amazing. And we really wanted to do the story justice. So definitely getting to work with everyone and getting to know them. It was one of my favorite and memorable memories.
And I think that my favorite moment in rehearsal was the amount of tea that I consumed in this show. And then realizing on one of the last day of filming that the brand of tea that I was drinking was actually caffeinated. And so we're rehearsing at night, and I was wondering why I was staying up so late. And it's because the glasses of beer that I've been having every night filming were actually caffeinated tea. And so I just think back on it, and I'm like, wow, we had a great ride and lots of things that we didn't even see coming.
My favorite rehearsal moment, or my favorite time that we've had together, has been really trying to piece together our little bits of our bars. And our director, Nicole Limon, has done an amazing job at making these pictures on the screen that look real. And so that has been my favorite moment within this rehearsal process. I love this cast. I think that we have amazing talent. I think there is a lot of love and understanding and genuine people within this cast, and lovers of art and lovers of theater. And so being able to tell an important story like this has come not necessarily easily, but has come from a genuine place for all of us.
My favorite memory of rehearsal is absolutely the number of times that a pet interrupted us in the middle of our rehearsal, and it just led to a sequence of us holding our pet, cuddling them, and just giving them all the love in the world.
One of my favorite memories from rehearsal was that we were able to enter breakout rooms and, discuss with the other actors the different scenes that we were in together. And we were able to establish, bonds and connections throughout our scenes and our characters. And for me, that was just so inspiring, because so many of these cast members are, seniors, or they're graduating seniors of California State University, Sacramento. And being a freshman, that's just, just being able to gather advice from them and grow with them. It's like you couldn't ask for more, It was a great first experience. It was my first virtual show. And, just being able to come every day to rehearsal and create with such a wonderful, talented, and supportive cast and crew, you just couldn't ask for more. And that's what I want to thank you, every single one of you, cast and crew members of this production of Sweat by Lynn Nottage. Just thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity and blessing to be a part of a family.
My favorite scene that reciprocates this statement is when I am in a scene with Jason and Chris, and when Evan is in the scene with Jason and Chris, and they unravel that moment when they saw each other, and you get to see two different perspectives of the feelings people have after an action is taking place. The audience needs to really pay attention to these reactions and that feeling they get after they react, because that is when truth is really identified and a lesson that is being revealed is after an action is taken.
My favorite scene from the play, I think, would have to be Act 2, Scene 6. Because not only do you get to see the characters' true colors, and when I say true colors, I mean the humanity, the amount of pressure and the complexity of humans and what it takes to get someone to do something that you never thought that you would do or someone else would do. And another reason why I feel like that's one of my favorite scenes is just the way that we filmed it, and the different dynamics to the way that we filmed the fight scene. And I think that when you watch it, that you'll enjoy it just as much as me.
I think my favorite line from the show is in response to Jessie, who calls me bullshit, and I just give her the simple response of, I can live with that. I just think it's a really fun exchange, and I really think it just fits the character, and it shows so much about him.
My favorite line from the show, although there are many favorites, one of my favorites, I should say, is a line that goes, I am a worker. I have worked since I could count money. That's me. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to go out. You know why? Because I don't want to spend money. Because when my unemployment runs out, I'll have nothing. And that's one of my favorite lines right now because I think that it is applicable to life. It's how I felt at the beginning of March, and it's how I still feel now. Although I'm no longer on unemployment, I sort of wish I were at times because as COVID continues to happen and cases continue to increase, it seems like we should all be staying home. We should all be taking care of ourselves and of each other and social distancing and quarantining, but some of us don't have that luxury, or not necessarily a luxury, but some of us can't because of our finances, because we need to work. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish that receiving aid from the government was not so looked down upon. But I digress. My favorite scene was scene 3 in Act 2, when I get to talk with my girls about our trip to Atlantic City.
My favorite line really from the show has to be one of my own characters, Brucey. And when there's a moment when he's speaking to Stan the bartender and he says, I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to do. I think that many of us in the time of COVID and the year of 2020 have had this same sentiment of what else is there to do. And he says later on in the show that he's figuring it out. And I think that we as a society have been just figuring it out. It's not easy. We have a far, far way to go, but I think that this show and the story it tells can help us see it from a different perspective. Like I said, I love the character of Brucey. I identify with his struggle of being a very charming person who has flaws. And I think that Lynn Nottage does that really well of writing complex characters in this way.
I would like to thank the director, Nicole Limon, for cultivating this creative outlet for us. And also, I am so thankful to share this space with these amazing people and this amazing cast. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to bring you such a powerful story during this time. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. My castmates and I worked really hard on this, and it deserves a watch if you can spare the time and the energy. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, guys, and I hope you enjoy the production.
Hope you guys bought your tickets. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy the show.
So, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the production. Appreciate you.
In totality, I just think that this show is going to be fun to watch on screen, and I hope you all have your tickets. If not, I hope you buy your tickets and see the show, because I think that the story itself is important to hear.
My heart goes out to every single one of you, cast, crew, and all patrons that will come and attend our show. Thank you, and enjoy Sweat by Lynn Nottage.